Hi, it's John here from GPS Training. Welcome to the latest walk and talk. I'm in the Simonside Hills today and we're going to go for a nice 12-mile walk with a Garmin eTrex Touch. So this is the slightly smaller and more budget sister or brother of the Garmin GPS map H1i, H1i Plus, but the interface is near enough identical. Before we go for our walk, what do we need to do? As we do with all our walk and talks, I pre-planned it on our free OS route planning software. So before we go for our walk today, we need to just quickly plan the route on our free Ordnance Survey route planning software. So if you go to our website, which is gpstraining.co.uk, and click on the OS Planner on the top menu bar, and it takes you to the free Ordnance Survey route planning software. Now, we're based in Rothbury, which is just down here, and we're going to be starting the walk here from what's called Lordenshaws car park. So what I'm going to do before I start planning, I'm going to have a quick look and give yourself an overview of where you're going to go. So we're going to come across Crags, Simonside, and across the Simonside Hills, Tosson Hill, and we're going to drop back down to Hebberway Field, and we're going to take in the Caiston Lakes here, back to Rye Hill, back to Great Tosson, and then back along the road to the car park. So once you know where you're going to go, zoom in. It'll then jump to 1 to 25k mapping, and all we need to do is click on the map every time there's a major corner, and we create what we call a route, but when we transfer it onto the Garmin eTrex Touch, it will become a course. So you can see it's 12 miles in length. I'm just going to rename it. And then what we do, we just download the GPX file down the bottom to your download section on your computer. And then I can just open that up in my Windows or my File Explorer. And then I'm just going to wirelessly transfer that to my mobile phone. So I'm just going to airdrop it to my mobile phone. You can email this to yourselves if you wish to. And then I'm going to open up the Connect app on my mobile phone and wirelessly transfer this onto the GPS device. So I've transferred this route, which now became a course because I sent it via the Connect app, onto the Garmin eTrex Touch. So what I need to do is start recording our activity, load that course into it, and follow that arrow. So at the start of the day's walk, we need to load that activity and also start recording it as well. So we press Start Activity down the bottom, and we can see navigation, nothing, we just tap on there, click on Saved Activity down the bottom, click on Courses, and you can see there's the walk and talk on the Touch. So we just tap on that, it overlays it on the map, and we literally press Navigate, and then go, and we're ready to go. Next thing we do is just press the Start button, and that will start recording that activity. So start recording the track, which is the breadcrumb trail our GPS leaves behind us, and then we're also going to be navigating that course which we have planned. So when we go back to our main menu, we just press on go to the compass page, we see that big arrow, and what we need to do, as we always do on all these GPS walk and talks, we need to just follow that arrow. So I'm just climbing up from what we call Lordenshaws car park. So there's a hill fort just behind one of the Iron Age hill forts that surround Rothbury. I think today's going to be a true day of showers, isn't it? I look here across to the west, I can see the rain driving on. We've had some heavy showers, but fingers crossed we don't get too wet. I suspect it won't be long before I have my full set of waterproofs on, but yeah, the touchscreen doesn't seem affected by it. So the nice thing about the touchscreen on this GPS unit is I've used it extensively in wet weather. It works impeccably in that, so I say it's good conditions to put it through its paces. So, where does the Garmin eTrex Touch sit in Garmin's stable of outdoor GPS units? It's a 3-inch screen, so it's a slightly smaller screen than what we're finding on the H1i, which is the more expensive buttoned and both touchscreen GPS units from Garmin. I say eTrex Touch is just a touchscreen unit. Has a staggering 130 hours of battery life on there, and it has it's a compact GPS unit, just 150 grams in weight. Has multiband, so it utilises multiband, which most modern GPS units do these days. Works off 5 satellite systems, takes 2 signals of each. Again, what we're seeing on most GPS units from Garmin in the last 3 or 4 years. So again, stands up on that. Electronic compass, barometric altimeter. Electronic compass with your accuracy at small movies. Barometric altimeter gives you more accurate elevation data. So all in all, the specs on it certainly way up. Where does it sit in the price range? We're £170 cheaper currently at current prices than the H1i, £50 more than a GPS Map 65S. GPS Map 65S is a button GPS unit from Garmin, slightly smaller screen, run off AA batteries. So again, you can see this new interface we find on the new H1i that we're seeing now on the eTrex Touch is the way forward, which means that we can only navigate courses. With older units, we can navigate tracks and routes, and also courses. They've simplified it with the H1i and also the eTrex Touch, so we can just navigate courses going forward, which makes a far simpler GPS unit to use. Now, the elephant in the room, it has 32 gigabytes of internal memory, which is superb. That's what we expect from a GPS unit, but it has no micro SD slot. It's the first GPS unit really for quite a while without a micro SD slot. So therefore, there are going to be some issues when we put ordnance survey maps on there, but we'll discuss that a little bit later. So interface really easy to use, connectivity to a mobile phone. This is the way most modern GPS units are using. You can still transfer via the USB-C cable. Again, be aware it's a USB-C connection. You can get an adapter to a different cable if you just have a USB cable on your computer, but it does now connect with the Connect app, which is what I use, and also the Explore app. So again, you've got top-end connectivity, which in the past is very much for the top-end outdoor GPS units from Garmin. We've got it on this, so it kind of sits there at that top end. So it's the bottom at the top end range of outdoor GPS units. As I've said, that screen is second to none. You know, touch screen that works in with gloves on, works in wet weather. Again, Garmin units somehow have mastered this where the GPS units haven't. So good on Garmin for that. So we're just going to climb up this next summit. As we climb up to the top of the Simonside Ridge, and hopefully, well, fingers crossed the rain. You can see the rain drifting across here, so fingers crossed we dodge those showers as we climb up to the top here. But yeah, it's not been too bad so far on the weather front. But just quickly summarise, top end spec from this GPS unit, easy to use. Again, similar interface that we find on this new range of outdoor GPS units from Garmin. I think they made some bold steps, as I said before, on walking talks with their new interface. I like it. I'm a very big fan of it. Walked extensively with it, taught people how to use these new units on courses, and to be honest, it's just dead simple for them to get to grips with, so good on them for that. So up with my climb, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. So we've got a bit of shelter behind this. There's a rock face you can't see in front of me, so I've got a bit of shelter. So I'll show you quickly around this GPS unit. So we've got our main page here. Again, if you want to go on the map, you can tap on the map and that brings you to the map page. Again, you can then go back to the main menu. How far we've walked, what time we're going to get there. This is where our saved courses are. This takes us to the compass page, which is the direction we should be walking in. This tells us the speed of walking at, time to next turning, estimated time of destination, time to next waypoint. So again, that takes us back. Again, there's 3 pages here, so I can just swipe to our right and there's various options there. Satellite signal. Again, it's getting 14 feet accuracy here. When we've got this rock face in front of us, you can see there's no satellites ahead of us. When we're out on the open hill, I was getting 6 feet accuracy just a few moments ago. And then you've got another third page which you can set up. That's like more like a trip computer page. So those are your three main pages. Again, this is how we started off. So this shows us the activity that we're navigating, which is the walk and talk by the touch. This is how we started recording the activity, and that's how we will stop recording it there. And then if you want to, you can go to the traditional main menu. So again, you can go to the various pages there if you wish to. The other thing with this GPS unit, if you swipe up from the bottom, you can see to the open pages. These are pages I've opened since I've been walking, and you can see elevation data. Just swipe up. If you want to get rid of any of these, you can just swipe up and it closes it down. Compass page, map page, etc. So you can see where we are within there. Also as well on this unit, if you press the swipe down from the top rather, you can see backlight timeout, you can see switch off, Bluetooth is on, Wi-Fi is switched off. We can lock the screen here. It's quite a nice feature. If you lock the screen there, you can see a little padlock at the top. It won't do anything. You just press your power button lightly on the side, it takes it off. Go back to the main menu, swipe down from the top again. Again, you can see what we're recording. We can see the notification. These come on my smartphone. You can see the weather. Again, this is going to stream the data via my mobile phone because it's tethered to my mobile phone. You can see the weather map here. You can see the rain coming in from the east here in Northumberland. So again, you can just navigate in that way there. Takes you back. So again, swipe down from the top, you get lots of menus. Then if you want to swipe up from the bottom, you can see your open pages, which you can just quickly scroll through, or alternatively traditional main menu. Other nice thing as well is if you want to just quickly shut it off, pop it in your pocket, press the power button, it blanks the screen, you can pop it in your pocket, it's not going to do anything, just press the power button lightly on the top and it brings it back to life. So a really easy GPS to navigate with. Dead simple. I've said this about this new interface by Garmin. It's a really nice GPS unit to navigate with. Very simple. Again, look at the slimness on that. Really compact GPS unit. Slightly different spine mount that we're finding on these new GPS units. So I've got slightly different spine mount adapter. We've got new accessories, and the feedback we've had on them is very good. So thanks Garmin for updating those accessories, both the bike mount and also the backpack tether. So that's the way it looks. Very compact 3-inch screen, but it's mostly screen, isn't it? Which is nice to see with a Garmin GPS unit. So we're just going to continue on a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about the GPS unit as we go forward. We've just crossed over the top of Simonside, which is 1,500 feet above sea level. I said earlier on, there's an elephant in the room with this GPS unit. So let's discuss the elephant. The elephant is the lack of a micro SD slot on this GPS unit. It keeps it compact. I understand why it's done. It's got 32 gigabytes of internal memory, no lack of internal memory. But what's the problem with not having a micro SD slot is that in the UK we can't put a GB Ordnance Survey map card in there. So if you're an existing Garmin user, you have a Topo Pro Ordnance Survey map, you can't put it in this GPS unit. You can put it in other GPS units, but not this one. So why has Garmin done this? Garmin currently have a subscription which they're trying to roll out more around the world, which is called an Outdoor Plus subscription, which is just £4.99 a month. Great. Enables you to download maps directly onto your unit for £4.99 a month. But the problem in the UK is Ordnance Survey is not part of that subscription plan. So you can download Harvey maps. If you're a big Harvey fan, you can download Harvey maps. Brilliant. If you're going to France, you can download some French maps. If you're going around Europe, you can download European mapping. Yeah, you've got the preloaded TopoActive mapping on there, which again, if you plan on our OS planner, so you know where your rights of way are in the UK, you could overlay it on the preloaded TopoActive mapping. That's not a problem. We've also put on here something called Talkytoaster map, which I'll show you a little bit later. This is a very cheap alternative Ordnance Survey, and again, I think for this unit it kind of very much meets the requirements of this unit. I like the Talkytoaster maps on here. But if you wanted Ordnance Survey mapping on this eTrex Touch, the only way you can do it is to buy it and download it onto the GPS unit. So £150 for 150k mapping, £349.99 for 125k mapping. But I hear you say, that's the same price as you would normally pay for a map card. Yes, it is. But the problem is when you download mapping onto a Garmin GPS unit, you can only have it on that unit. So if you change your unit in 3 or 4 years' time, unlike at this moment in time, you can take your micro SD card with you, put it in another unit. You can't do that with the eTrex Touch. I understand why that is the case. I'm not criticising Garmin for that, because otherwise I could buy the map once and put it on all your GPS units when you sell it. So I understand it's got to be tied in with that unit. That's been the way of the Garmin for many years. I totally understand that's the case. But if you're buying this unit, downloading 125k mapping on it, £349.99, you have no ability to swap that onto another unit in 3, 4, 5 years time, as we do with other GPS units. So again, if you've got a GPS unit 125k mapping, you could transfer that mapping from a micro SD card onto a H1i, H1i Plus, which is slightly more expensive GPS unit, but you can't transfer it onto this. So I'll look at the various map options that we've got on this unit, but that's the big elephant in the room with this unit is if you download Ordnance Survey mapping onto it, you're not able to transfer it. Now, you can get regional 125k OS mapping, but again, it's £150 for a small region. So again, it's not, I don't know, it's still not the best alternative really. So I say we'll look through the various Talkytoaster maps and the TopoActive mapping that we got preloaded on that unit, and we'll discuss a little bit later on. But that is the issue that we're seeing at the moment, is you don't get with an Ordnance Survey mapping. You can't buy it bundled from ourselves, an Ordnance Survey mapping. Again, plan an ROS planner, you know where your rights are, overlay it on the TopoActive mapping or Talkytoaster mapping. Yeah, you might think that's completely adequate, but again, if you do need to plan on the hoof, you need to bail out of your walk for whatever reason, if you don't know where your rights of way on the GPS unit are, you are going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage than other GPS users. So we came over the top of Simonside back there a few moments ago. We're at what's called Simonside Crags now, and we're looking out to the north. We've got the Cheviot Hills. The Cheviot itself is in a bit of mist there. Cheviot Hills, the Coca Valley, and we're going to be dropping down to what's called Caiston Lakes, which is down here as we drop down, and then we're going to follow the river all the way back to the car at Lordenshaws. This is, I don't know if you can see, that's Rothby in the distance. You can see this, the showers we're talking about running down the coast there. So you can see the showers running down the Northumberland coast. I love this time of year where you can see the showers running. We're in we're in dry weather, but you can see the showers running down the coast from where we are. So fingers crossed we keep dry, and yeah, keep going as we got a steep drop now from Simonside, and then we're going to head out to the beautiful Tosson Hill. It's one of the undiscovered areas of Northumberland, one of my favourite places. Don't tell anybody about it. Everybody comes up here, which is Simonside. Luckily there's not many people here today because it's a bit of a wet, blustery day, and it's during the week, but during the weekend it can get quite busy up here. But as we head out to Tosson Hill, wait till you see the views out there. You never see anybody, so don't tell us so. So behind us we've got the Sandstone Crags of Simonside. So any climbers amongst you, you may know these famous crags. Sandstone is very much favourable with climbers because again it's a lot warmer than other rocks around the country. So you see a lot of climbers up here in winter because they've got these warm sandstone, quite soft, easier to climb crags than some other areas of the country. So famous Sandstone Crags of Simonside. We're looking over, back over to Rothby in the distance. So this next section of the walk, we're heading out to Tosson Hill. And this is the section I was saying where not many people go, but look at this path behind me. It's fascinating. So if you've been watching my walk and talk over the last few years, this estate has gone into rewilding. So what they've done is taken off traditional livestock, your sheep, your cattle. They've got a few Shetland ponies on it and things, and yeah, and a few of the wild pigs, etc. And you may have been sceptical in the past, but what they've done is they've really looked after their paths. I was very worried about if there's no livestock on that upland like we are now, the path will overgrow, especially because it's not overly walked, this path. But what they've done is they've spent a fair bit of money and time putting a very good path in place. This bit is like packed stone. As we climb over the top of Tosson Hill, they've got some flagstones as we drop down. And they've really opened up the access for walkers like ourselves. So yeah, I'm really quite pleased. I do bring, I've not got my border collie with me today, but I do bring my border collie up here. There's one of the few places I can just lay him off the lead because there's no livestock around. He's well behaved, he comes back where he wants to, or when I ask him to, rather than when he wants to. So yeah, it's a lovely area. Again, looking to the north, we've got the Cheviots. You can see the River Coquet winding its way along the valley bottom. So yeah, if you've got thoughts on rewilding, let us know in the comment box below. I'm interested to know what people think of it. It's something quite different, and it is a spectacular state that they've done it on. And again, we're a good 1,300 feet above sea level, but by putting this path in, they've stopped it overgrowing. And before this, it was quite a wet, boggy path because it's open moorland. I suppose that's one of the reasons they've rewilding it, because I know a lot of the carbon gases get absorbed into upland peat like this, so that's one of the reasons they've done it. So yeah, it's very good. So we've got a few, I don't know, half a mile, then we'll hit Tosson Hill. Got lovely views there. What I'll do there, I'll jump onto that map page and we'll look at those various map options that we're talking about that we've got on this GPS unit. So as promised, let's look at the various map options that we've got in this unit. So just tap on the map page and it takes us to the map page. This is the Garmin's TopoActive mapping. So you can see it originates from satellite imagery, so it's quite good because it shows where the paths are on the ground. This is our course overlaid on it, and again the arrows are showing the direction that we're walking in. So in some ways the TopoActive mapping, because it's nice digital mapping, so you can see where we've planned on the Ordnance Survey mapping is actually incorrect when this is where the path is on the ground. So that's what that is. Nice thing with this unit is you can just toggle between different maps. So just tap on here, we can toggle to the Talkytoaster maps. So this is Talkytoaster maps. These are available to download. There's a small fee for them, and I'll put a link down below this video. Now the thing with Talkytoaster map, what they've done is taken open source mapping, which is where all these maps originate from, and they've put various colours across the top of it. They've added extra information to it, and Martin, who runs the Talkytoaster website, is very good. He listens to people's feedback, he adds various bits and bobs onto it when they're requesting, and then he updates the maps every week for the GB mapping. And you can buy a subscription where you can download and keep updating them, or you can buy a one-off, and it is a nominal fee, I'll be honest with you, it's not a lot of money. But again, on this unit is when we've got this issue of, are you wanting to pay 350 quid to download mapping onto the GPS unit, and then it's always going to be on that mapping for the end to the end of time. Talkytoaster is a good option for it. Now the way you're going to think of this is it's quite similar than what we have on a GPS watch. So again, we're selling watches which are well over £1,000, which you can't put Ordnance Survey mapping on. So that's Garmin's thinking with this GPS unit. So again, that's one of the options. It's really nice to be able to just swap back to the TopoActive mapping there. Also as well, we've got north up, we can just tap on the arrow at the top, that's north up, and that's track up as well. So that's just a quick look through the various map options that are available. Again, we've not downloaded Ordnance Survey mapping on this GPS unit. You can do it directly from Garmin, either in regions, and then you can download full GB 1 to 50k mapping or full GB 1 to 25k mapping. you may have seen at the start, I transferred my course onto this GPS unit using what's called the Garmin Connect app. This is a experience we get really from top-end outdoor GPS units from Garmin, the ability to work alongside the Connect app and the Explore app. Let me explain a little bit more. So until a couple of years ago, we always needed a PC or a Mac to work alongside a Garmin outdoor GPS unit. So the process was, as you've seen today, plan on a PC, plan on a Mac, and transfer via USB cable onto your Garmin GPS unit. And some of the top-end GPS units started working alongside what's called the Connect app. And that Connect app is a bridge between your mobile phone or a tablet and your GPS unit. So that's the nice thing, is you can then take out your PC or Mac out of the equation. If you don't have a PC, you don't have a Mac, you just have a tablet or a mobile phone. With GPS units, we had the ability then to transfer with what's called the Connect app. Then Garmin brought out the Explore app. The Explore app is very similar, but it gives you the ability to edit things. So the Connect app is just a transition, that a connectivity that you can transfer it over onto your GPS unit. Now, really, the Connect app originated from GPS watches, from Garmin GPS watches. So a lot of people had Garmin GPS watches, wanted the same functionality for their handheld units, and that's why we've got the Connect app. Where the Explorer app has some basic mapping, has that TopoActive mapping on there, has the ability to edit a little bit, so you can add courses, so you can add waypoints, etc., amend those courses a little bit within the Explore app as well. So again, whichever works best for you. But your process would be, if you don't have a PC or Mac, you could plan your routes on your tablet or your mobile phone on our FreeOS planner. Or alternatively, you might have an app, you might have the Ordnance Survey app you subscribe to. You can create your routes in there. Then you can just download it to your mobile phone or your tablet, like the download section of it. And then you can just wirelessly transfer it either via the Connect app or the Explore app onto this Garmin eTrex Touch. So when we've been priced where it sits within the price bracket, this is the cheapest unit from Garmin that has that functionality. So it's the functionality that we've seen on top-end outdoor GPS units before now. So I think it's the functionality on this unit is the same that we get on the most expensive GPS units. So it's got the same functionality we get on all the top-end GPS units, but they're brought into this, I'm not saying base range, because it's not a base range anymore, it's that mid-range outdoor GPS unit. So well done, Garmin, for doing it. Gives you the flexibility. I keep saying this from the start, it makes it a very easy outdoor GPS unit to use. So the sun's starting to go down, so fingers crossed we get it back. It's saying we're going to get it back about 6 o'clock or just after 6 o'clock, so we should be okay. Now, after spending quite a few hours with this GPS unit today and then over the last few weeks, do you know what? I'm really enjoying the navigation experience and the ease of use this GPS gives me. So let's give you a quick summary on my thoughts. So what's my thoughts on this outdoor GPS unit? I think initially it's quite unfair to call it an eTrex Touch GPS unit, because eTrex is Garmin's base range of outdoor GPS units. And one thing for sure, this is not a base range outdoor GPS unit. The operating system is exactly the same as a top-end outdoor GPS unit. The touchscreen works in 4 seasons, use it with gloves on, use it in wet weather. And it's the same interface, but just slightly smaller screen, only by 1/2 inch than what you would get on a GPS unit, twice the price. Same functionality, same satellite system, same electronic compass in a far more compact outdoor GPS unit. So for me, I think it's a superior outdoor GPS unit. At this end of the market, I don't think you can beat it. We've got that connectivity to a mobile phone, we've got the 150 grams. I've just been walking here with it and thinking, do you know what? How many people are buying GPS unit for ultra events? Ultra events where you have to carry an outdoor GPS unit, or those who are struggling to see a watch because they wear glasses, etc. Well, for this GPS unit, significantly less than many GPS watches, give you far more functionality, larger screen, big arrow to follow, and for 150 grams, who can go wrong? It's actually not much heavier than a watch, isn't it? But there's 130 hours of battery life on it. If you think if you're doing an ultra event or something along those lines, if you're getting that kind of battery life out of it, you're really on going to achieve. So I think it ticks all the boxes. It ticks the box for the ultra event user who wants a compact, lightweight outdoor GPS unit with a good large clear screen on it, and also for that day walker who wants a top-end outdoor GPS unit, who doesn't want to spend a fortune on a Garmin GPS Map H1, H1i Plus. You can still use it with gloves on, you can still use it winter, touchscreen outdoor GPS unit. The only thing we've got to bear in mind, I keep talking about it, I don't want to keep pushing this, but Ordnance Survey mapping. I was just thinking though as well, is, you know, you think about it, if you buy your Ordnance Survey 1 to 50k mapping, £150, you can have this unit for 10 years, £15 a year for that download. It's actually cheaper than the OS subscription, isn't it, or the subscription for that. So I suppose that's some way of looking at it. That's the only stumbling block I see, but again, a lot of people will be happy with the TopoActive mapping. Have a look at the Talkytoaster map that I've been using today. I think it's an impeccable map for this product. So overall, I think it's a good GPS unit. A lot of GPS unit for its money. Again, not an eTrex, it is an eTrex Touch, but the functionality is far higher than an eTrex GPS unit. Fingers crossed, this is the way Garmin are going to go. No top-end outdoor GPS unit at this price bracket. So overall, I really like it. We've got another 3-4 miles to go, so to get back just before 6. So fingers crossed. It's a lovely clear day, so I should say light until then. But I've got no qualms in recommending this unit. I think it's a top-end outdoor GPS unit. It's been a real pleasure to walk with. I keep going back, it's so easy to use. Functionality is second to none, really. So if you have any thoughts, once you get your unit from ourselves at GPS Training, don't forget you get access to the online resource, that online training centre. You get access to AI bot, which we program all the data going into it. You get a telephone and email support as well. So you will get 100% out of your new GPS unit, whichever one you decide to go for. Okay, a few more miles, and then I'll show you what we need to do at the end of a day's walking, how we stop navigating that course. We also save that activity on this truly superb Garmin eTrex Touch. So we're back to where it all began, and the sun is still in the sky, which is always a good start, isn't it? So I'm going to quickly show you how you finish your day's walking with the Garmin eTrex Touch. So at the end of the day's walk, we need to stop navigating the course and also save the breadcrumb trail or the track that we've been recording. So it's counting down the bottom, 4 hours 26, tap on the bottom, click on navigation, and we stop navigation. So that's stop navigating. So we go back to our map page, and we'll see we've lost the compass rose at the top, and also if we go to our compass page, we've lost the compass rose as well. So we're no longer navigating, the GPS is just recording our activity. And then finally, we just need to press the stop button at the top, press the, oh, there's a notification coming just right there, press stop, and we can just stop our activity. Because we've stopped the activity, we can just save it. If we want, we can change the colour of the track, we can rename it if you want, but I'm just going to press done, and that exports the activity, which is a record of our trip. So we go back now to our main menu, which says start activity down the bottom. We're not recording an activity, and again we've lost our compass rose, which tells us that we were navigating before. So just as the sun is truly setting over the Simonside Hills, it's the time to say goodbye. So as always, many thanks for watching this latest walk and talk on the Garmin eTrex Touch. If you have any questions about this unit or any other outdoor GPS unit, please don't hesitate to get in touch with ourselves here at GPS Training. And as always, many thanks not only from myself, but all the team at GPS Training for all your continued support. It's very much appreciated, and enjoy your walking and look after yourself.